Make a double-layer heart-shaped cake. Preparing a double-layer cake can be very challenging even with a simple recipe. A double-layer heart-shaped cake can appear to be even more complicated since keeping the shape intact can be very tricky. But it can be easy with just a few tips and instructions to guide you. Prepare the pans. Prepare 2 heart-shaped baking pans by greasing the bottom and sides of each pan. Add a pinch of flour for each pan and gently swirl it around to make sure the sides also have some flour. Cut out parchment paper in the same shape as your baking pans, adding at least 1/2 inch all around. Trace the pans with a toothpick on top of the parchment paper. Avoid using pencil or ballpoint pen since you do not want any of the chemicals from the lead or the ink mixing with your cake. Use a ruler to guide you in adding 1/2 inch around. Prepare 2 of these for both pans. Gently press down the parchment paper on the pan. The bottom of the pan should be completely covered with the parchment paper. Press the parchment paper on the sides of the pan. Avoid small folds that can cause the batter to fall between the parchment paper and the pan. Grease the parchment paper. Add a pinch of flour and swirl it around just as you did earlier. Do this for both pans. Follow the cake recipe. If you only have one batter, divide the batter equally into 2. When each batter is ready, gently pour one in each pan. Use a spatula to evenly spread the batter on each pan. Bake as instructed. Take out the pans from the oven and let them cool for 10 to 15 minutes on a wire rack. Loosen the cake by running a knife along the edges of both pans. Place the cake layers. Place a decorative plate on top of one pan and quickly flip it over. Make sure the plate is bigger than the pan. For the second layer of the cake, flip the other pan on a separate flat plate or a wide spatula that can accommodate the cake. Remove the parchment paper and let it cool for another 30 to 40 minutes. Spread the frosting on top of the cake on the decorative plate. This is the first layer of the cake. Carefully position the second layer over the first layer, making sure the flat plate or wide spatula does not touch the frosting. Use a regular spatula to gently push the cake out as you simultaneously slide out the flat plate or wide spatula underneath. Position the regular spatula along either side of the heart and not at the pointed part of the heart. The cake should gently fall on top of the first layer. Spread the frosting on top and on the sides of the cake. Frosting tips. To avoid chunks of cake from sticking to the frosting, You can wrap the cakes in clear plastic wraps and freeze overnight. Simply place the plastic wraps on the plate or wide spatula before you flip the cakes. Let them cool. Wrap the cakes in plastic wraps and freeze. The following day let them thaw. Remove the plastic wraps and follow as instructed above. Freezing the cakes allows them to have a firmer shape before applying the frosting. The frosting should easily glide over the cakes for easy cake decorating. You can now place your double-layer heart-shaped cake in the refrigerator before serving to your guests. Enjoy the cake.